Welcome to another MTGMoxBox video, your destination for Magic the Gathering box breaks and more. If you like what we do, please support us by participating in our box breaks. You can find us on our website, MTGMoxBox.com, or through our listings on eBay under seller handle MTGMoxBox. You can also find us on social media in the links in the description below, and watch us play Magic on Twitch under MTGMoxBox. Finally, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment to let us know what you think.
Welcome to MTGMoxBox, and today we have another episode of Top 2 with the newest edition coming out, Innistrad, the Midnight Hunt. I hope I got that name right. Please correct me if I got it wrong.
No, you got it right.
Cool. All right. So I'm Joseph.
And I'm Lawrence.
I'm Tony.
And we have the three of us again, and we will be going our top 2 for each of the slot that we're going to be offering on our site. Just want to remind everyone that we're only offering 6 slots this time. So we have the 5 basic colors plus multi. The land and colorless will be treated as a whole lot and will be randomly assigned to one of the 6 participants for each box. So just want to remind everybody of that. And then for our top 2, we'll be only going over the 5 basic colors plus multi. All right, so let's start off with white. Lawrence, do you want to start us off? What were your top picks?
Yeah, so I picked Intrepid Adversary. It's a human skull and has lifelink. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you can pay 1 and a white any number of times. When you cast this costs 1 or more times, put that many Valor counters on Intrepid Adversary. The last ability is creatures you control get +1/+1 for each Valor counter on Intrepid Adversary. So I thought it's a great card to power up your entire army, your entire little 1/1 creatures, as you just spend as much white mana as you have possible.
Got it. So you're thinking about maybe it's more suited for like those white weenie creature decks and use this as a power up for that type of deck.
Yeah, the go white type of decks.
Got it. All right. What's your second pick?
The second pick is Sigrada's Splendor.
Sigarda, was it?
Sigarda Splendor.
Splendor.
Only reason is it's on my list too. Go ahead.
You note your life total as ETBs. At the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card if your life total is greater than or equal to the last noted life total. Then you note your life total again. And whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 1 life. So basically, you get to draw every time you cast a white spell, because your life theoretically should be higher than your last noted total.
Very nice. Yeah, I know the only note that I put this card is, hey, if it's white card draw, sign me up, please.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Very nice. So those are your 2. Tony, do you have anything that's different from the 2 that Lawrence picked?
So my top 2, first of my top 2 is Vanquish the Horde. This is the new white sorcery, 6 white, that costs 1 less to cast for each creature on the battlefield, and you get to destroy all creatures. So nice, board wipe. What I like about this is that it's flexible in the casting cost, where, if you really need it and there's a lot of, enemies on the floor or on the battlefield, can potentially cost only 2 mana, which is nice. So that was one of my picks. The second one was this one's an uncommon. I thought it was flexible enough that I liked it. Bereaved Survivor, which also transforms into Dauntless Avenger. So Bereaved Survivor is 2 and white for a 2/1 human peasant. And when another creature you control dies, you transform it. And then that's when it becomes the Dauntless Avenger, which is a human soldier. That's 3/2. And then whenever the Dauntless Avenger attacks, you return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So I like this one, as a way of just recurring a lot of small creature cards. Where I'm thinking that this might be a good fit in would be something like a Luris, the Dream Den, I think. That one creature from Ikoria. That also brings back creatures from the graveyard. So I thought it was a
Got
good
it.
fit
So
there.
it will have to be a black and white deck then, right?
Yeah, so it would be the black and white deck.
Nice. All right.
Graveyard version again.
That's always a popular theme. I have no white to go over because you two picked my two, Cigar the Splendor and also Vanquish the Horde. So I think that is it for white.
All right, sounds good. Let's go on to blue.
Why don't we start with Tony this time? What are your top two picks for blue?
All right. So blue was interesting. Let's see. My first pick was Sludge Monster. So this is a 5/5 horror that costs 3 blue. Whenever Sludge Monster enters the battlefield or attacks, you put a slime counter on up to one other target creature, and non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 2/2. So I think this is really powerful. I mean, you can basically blank your enemy's best creature just by bringing this out or attacking, as long as it's not a horror creature. So, and it doesn't look like those counters go away. You can make more, so you just have to protect the sludge monster being on the battlefield. So that was my first pick.
You mean when the sludge monster dies, the counters don't go away?
No, the counter stays on, but then that second ability of the sludge monster, where non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power toughness 2/2. I think that goes away when the sludge monster isn't on the board. So the creatures will still have slime counters, but it won't do anything.
So let's just say if you have a way to bring back Sludge Monster, it will re-trigger them losing ability because the counters are still on them, if that makes sense.
Right. So even if someone was able to get rid of your sludge monster, if you have a way to bring it back, if the other creature that still has that slime counter on them, is still on the board, I think it loses its ability again once this monster comes back.
Yep, very tricky.
Yep.
Kill on sight.
Well, that's what we were saying. That's what's scary about this is that even if you kill this monster, if it comes back, it still has its effect.
Yeah, hold on a second.
I'm thinking it's a pretty powerful card.
I need to add to cart right now. All right, what's your second one?
All right, second card. Let's see, Triska Decaphile.
I'm just gonna say both of you are making my job very easy today because basically you just picked my top two, so I have nothing to say, and we start again.
Oh yeah.
All right, sorry. Continue.
Anyway, this is interesting. So it's a 1/3 human wizard that costs 1 and blue to cast. It says you have no maximum hand size, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. And the second ability is 3 and a blue, and you draw a card. So I'm just thinking this is a really, really easy way for blue to win, or mono blue, or any deck that has blue that likes to draw cards to win.
One word, Urza.
Get out of here! Not a fan of Urza.
Also kill on sight.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
which
this
one?
one
You want to
easier
kill
to
this
kill
creature
outside.
or Urza?
But yeah, maybe I would just kill Urza.
Fine.
Sure.
All right, Lawrence. Do you have any other top two for blue?
I actually picked something completely different from you guys for blue. I picked Suspicious Stowaway, the 1 blue human rogue werewolf. Changes from daybound to nightbound. During the daybound phase, it cannot be blocked. Whenever Suspicious Stowaway deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. And then the Nightbound, it turns into a Seafaring Werewolf. Also cannot be blocked. Whenever Seafaring Werewolf deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So I just like the value you get no matter what time of the day it is. Draw. and it's unblockable, so it's very versatile.
Yeah. Plus, it's got a
Nothing
bit of
wrong with
a
card draw.
pirate theme to it.
Yep. Well, even though they're not pirates.
Yeah, not a pirate, but a stowaway on a pirate
I know,
ship.
that
I
stowaway
guess.
picture does look like it's on a ship.
On
Yep.
theme.
All right, what's your second card?
The second card I pick is Grafted Identity, Enchantment Aura. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you have to sacrifice a creature. You get to enchant a creature. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. So very on theme with the pirate stealing creatures deck.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
very
think
nice.
this was my runner-up too.
Yeah, so it seems like that pirate deck is coming along fine with these new additions, huh?
Every set gets 2 cards.
Very nice. All right, so we're done with blue, so we will move on to black.
Joseph, you want to start with black?
So now we're on to black. I guess I'll go first, or
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
won't get a chance to speak.
Yeah.
So the 2 blacks I picked, the first one is Champion of the Parish. It's a 1 black to cast, 1/1 zombie. Whenever another zombie ETB, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's very easy to cast and quite easy to get very big in a zombie deck. So I just think it's a very good complement to any zombie decks that anyone's trying to build out there. Especially since I'm building mine still. All right. The second one I pick is the Meathook Massacre. It's a X, black to cast, board wipe, make creatures get -X until end of the turn. Whenever a creature controlled by the spell controller dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature your opponent controlled, whenever a creature your opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. So it's almost like board wipe plus potential AOE damage and life gain. It's a pretty sweet deal in my book. So those are the 2 I picked.
Yeah, it's a perfect card for the aristocrat decks.
Very nice. Yep. All right, let's go with Lawrence. What are your top 2?
So same with Meathook Massacre. Such a good card. The second card I picked is Giza, Glorious Resurrector. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. At the beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Giza, Glorious Resurrector onto the battlefield under your control. They gain Decayed. So the problem with it is Decayed, but then you do get control of all your opponent's creatures that goes to their graveyard normally. So I thought that's very useful. What are your picks, Tony?
All right. Yep. Tony, go ahead.
All right. So you guys already talked about it, but I figured I'd bring it up as well. So my first pick was the Meathook Massacre as well. Going against the discussion I had earlier about the Lurrus deck that I apparently am building. This card also fits there because it's a permanent that it costs if you choose X is 0, it's actually a 2-mana permanent legendary enchantment. So that board wipe option of giving creatures -X is kind of optional, and I think it's just insane amount of value that you still get the other effect where if your creature dies or your opponent's creature dies, they lose life or you gain life. So just an overall really amazing card, and I think it's probably one that's going to hold its value well throughout this set's release. Second one I picked looks like you guys did not pick this one, Graveyard Trespasser. So this is one of those transforming cards, 2 and a black for a 3/3 human werewolf. I picked this one because I really like its ward ability. The ward is discard a card, so to even do anything or interact with this card, you have to discard a card just to try to touch it. So that just kind of makes it really hard to deal with in the first place. And its ability is when it's daybound, whenever a Graveyard Trespasser enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So you're removing, doing graveyard removal or graveyard management. If a creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So there you have it again, the life gain or life draining aspect. The Nightbound version also still has the ward discard a card ability. But this one, when Graveyard Glutton enters the battlefield or attacks, you exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. And then for each creature card exiled this way, each opponent loses 1 life or you gain 1 life. So he just gets even stronger at nighttime. So very interesting card. Hopefully I can fit it somewhere.
Yeah, so I guess the conclusion is Meathook is very popular among the three of us. But I think one thing I think we should point out to our listener is there is a new ability for this set, is that the Decayed. Basically, it's a new ability. A creature with Decayed can't block when it attacks, sacrifice at end of combat. So it seems like there's a lot of new cards with this mechanic that can create or generate tokens with Decayed. So kind of limit its, I guess, usefulness, right? You can only attack it once, but you can't block with it. But it also triggers a lot of ETB this way. So just want to throw that out there for our listeners.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good balance. It allows black or zombie decks to create more tokens, but with this minor drawback.
So. Yep, very nice. All right, anything else for black before we move on to red?
Nope.
All right.
All right, for red, why don't you go first, Joseph?
Back to back? Sure. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I had a hard time picking red. I don't know, I wasn't really feeling the red cards in this set, but I did pick 2. The first one I picked, it was Smoldering Egg. It's a 1 colorless, 1 red to cast, 0/4 Dragon Egg, which can transform when it has 7 or more Ember counters on it. You get to put an Ember counter on this egg whenever you cast an instant or sorcery equal to the spell's mana cost. It transforms into a 4/4 flying dragon when that criteria is met. And also it gains its ability that whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it deals 2 damage to any target. So to be honest, it's not too bad for 2 to cast, 1 colorless, 1 red to cast creature at the early stages. And assuming you're running a burning deck or some sort of deck that has a lot of instant sorcery, you probably can transform it pretty quickly and get to its true value of the things that the spells or instant and sorcery spells that you cast. So that's my first pick. My second pick is Curse of the Shaken Faith. It's an enchantment. You enchant a player. The enchanted player takes 2 damage each time they cast a spell after their first, and also includes copies of the first. So it's almost like, hey, they get penalized for playing too many spells on each of their turns. So those are the 2 I picked. All right. All right, Tony, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. But yeah, anyway, Sunstreak Phoenix was one of my picks. 2 red for 4/2 flying Phoenix. If it's neither day or night, it becomes day as it enters the battlefield. And then whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you can pay 1 in a red. And then if you do, it returns Sunstreak Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So normally I feel like Phoenixes aren't overly powerful. They get kind of overshadowed by dragons. But in this particular case, I feel like the day and night shift in this set is really easy to kind of input to introduce into the game, right? If you cast this card, it's already in the game, and then kind of like the Monarch ability, once it's in the game, it kind of just continuously stays there. So I'm seeing this as a really easy way for this Phoenix to come back. Even when it's not your turn, so you can potentially have a 4-power flyer on on your board whenever day and night shifts, even when it's not your turn. So that's kind of why I picked that one. The other card I picked was Burn Down the House. I like this one because it's kind of flexible, board wipe, or create some token creatures that are devils. Which is nice. So it's 3 red for a sorcery. You can choose one. It either Burn Down the House either deals 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, or you create 3 1/1 red devil creature tokens. With when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to each target, and they gain haste until end of turn. So yeah, I just like the flexibility. You either wipe the board if you need, or if you don't, and you're on the offensive, create some devils with haste that can attack, and then if they die, they hurt something anyway. If you have ways to double your tokens or anything like that, or double your damage like red often has, I think this card becomes even more impactful. So those are my 2 picks. What do you guys think?
All right, so I think
damage.
so. I think before Lawrence goes, I do want to point out that Tony, out of 4 colors, 3 of them he picked board wipes. So just to show what type of player he is. We got to watch out, Lawrence.
Oh, I mean, you know it.
Very evil.
I didn't even realize that.
Yes, just want to point that
I
out.
usually don't even play that much board wipes in my decks.
Very evil. All right, Lawrence, go ahead.
So I pick Moonveil Regent. It's a dragon, 3 and a red. Whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each of that spell's colors. So I thought that the dragon deck is already 5 colors. So a lot of the cards would give me the 5 color ability to draw 5 cards. So I thought that's very useful already, since I don't have a lot of card draw in that deck. The second ability of that dragon is when it dies, it deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of colors among permanent you control. So again, really good for a 5-color deck. Similar to Tony's board wipe, deals 5 damage to everything, I guess. To any target though, but not the whole board, unfortunately.
I swear this is a top 2 episode, not a board wipe episode, you two.
No. This only does it to 1 target, so not.
All right, fine. What's your next card?
Second one I picked is again a Daybound Nightbound card called Reckless Storm Seeker for Daybound. Again, I'm looking for value for Daybound and Nightbound. So Daybound, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains haste until end of the turn. When it's Nightbound, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample and haste until end of the turn. So either Daybound or Nightbound, you get value out of it, and I just like those cards.
I'm going to be honest, that was actually one of my runner-ups, that Reckless Stormseeker, because it seems like it says target creature, so not just this Reckless Stormseeker. It's like any creature you control, you can grant it haste and give it that plus that buff ability. So it's pretty nice. Nice picks.
All right, thanks.
All right, so next we're going to move on to green.
Green, yeah.
Go over the top 2 for green. Tony, why don't you go first this time?
All right. So with green, my first pick was I think probably the most highly sought after card of the set at the moment. That would be Wrenn and Seven. So this is the Planeswalker that is 3 green. Comes in with 5 loyalty. This is the land? Was it Land Matters? Landfall? Let's see. So the +1 is reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So get a bunch of lands into your hand. There also has a 0 loyalty ability. Put any number of lands cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So I think that would be your, Scoot Swarm type of, drop a whole bunch of lands, make a whole bunch of tokens, or get a whole lot of value out of that. It also has a -3 to create a green Treefolk creature token with power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. And its ultimate would be a -8, return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand, and then you get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. So just a lot of interesting abilities in the mono green Planeswalker. So pretty easy to fit into a deck and to take advantage of, especially if you have a landfall type of theme going on. So my second card is Consuming Blob. This is a 3 green ooze, star and star +1, where power is equal to number of card types among cards in your graveyard, and toughness is equal to that number of +1. So it's capped on how big it can get, but then its second ability is at the beginning of your end step, create a green ooze creature with similar ability where the power and toughness equal to the different number of card types among cards in your graveyard. So similar to Scute Swarm, it just kind of keeps making copies of itself. So if left unattended, it can kind of get out of hand, I think. So those are my two picks. What do you guys think?
They are not board wipes.
That's right. They are not board wipes.
What a surprise.
Yep, surprise. All right, Lawrence, what are your top two?
Right, so going back to the consuming blob, the different number of card types. So you want as many different card types as you can get in your graveyard. Is that how it works?
Right. So you probably need to have some kind of a self-mill theme, or some way of putting cards into your graveyard, or sacking or milling or looting, various different ways. But yeah, I think how many different card types are there now? There's 5, 6?
Yeah,
I'm not
there
sure.
are not that many, right? Yeah, like there's a cap too.
Yeah, I mean there is a cap. So I think it's not limitless, so that kind of caps the maximum power, but just the fact that that it you keep creating tokens that have that ability. If you have a lot of cards in your graveyard, then you're creating a whole ton of larger sized tokens, creatures, which is nice.
That's true. That's true. It's kind of free. All right. So what I picked is Unnatural Growth, 1 and then 4 green, enchantment. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of the turn. So doubler for all your creatures, which is always great for green.
Yeah, I love doubling.
And it's at the beginning of each combat, so it doesn't say at the beginning of your combat, right? So that means even on your opponent's combat, or am I wrong with that?
Oh my goodness. I
That
didn't even
is
catch that, but I
correct,
think you're right.
which is why I picked it as well.
What great find. The second card I picked is Seraph, the Viper's Fang. Legendary creature, human warlock. Other tapped creatures you control have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. And then you can pay 1 and untap another target creature or land you control. Always really useful to give all your other creatures have Death Touch or Hexproof. So this card does both, which is, one of my favorites.
I think Sisse has a new friend.
Yeah, I feel like Lawrence is, well, friend-wise, because Lawrence is making my job easy. He basically went over my top two for me. So the reason I was picked up, so Unnatural Growth, I don't think we need to talk more about that since it doubles, the power and toughness. The last one, right? I think, how do you pronounce it? Sarith?
Sarah?
I read it as Sereth. I'm
Oh,
not sure.
Sarith. Okay. Well, I was thinking it's nice to pair with Finn, the Fangbearer from Kaldheim, where creatures with Death Touch, deals damage via poison counters, 2 poison counters. So that's pretty mean, man. Basically, you're just giving Death Touch to all your creatures, and then use Finn to turn those damages into poison counters.
Oh wow, was that a green card too, or is that one multicolored?
Which one? Finn the Fangbearer?
Yeah.
It is a uncommon from Kaldheim, and it's mono green.
Oh wow, so you can have Sereth as your commander.
Potentially, yep.
Yeah.
You can kill
Very
someone
nice.
fast.
Pretty much, yep. All right. Anything else for green?
No.
All right. We will move to multicolor, which is our last slot. And Lawrence, why don't you go first this time?
All right. I picked 2 planeswalkers. I picked Teferi, who slows the sunset. 2 white and blue. Legendary planeswalker, so 3 abilities. The +1 ability is choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target land, untap the chosen permanents you control, but you get to tap the chosen permanents you don't control, and you gain 2 life. So slows down your enemies by tapping their artifact, creature, and land. The -2 ability is you get to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the rest in the bottom. So it goes through your library quicker. But the -7 ability is the one that you get an emblem, untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step. And you get to draw a card during each opponent's draw step. So you're slowing everybody down and you're speeding yourself up. I don't see the downside.
I can tell you the downside is where everyone's gonna target you when you cast it.
It's
Very true.
It's very powerful.
All right, what's your second card?
The second Planeswalker I picked is Arlinn, the Pack's Hope. This one changes from Daybound to Nightbound. Daybound has 2 abilities. The +1 ability is up until your next turn, you can cast creature spell as though they had flash. And each creature you control enters the battlefield with additional +1/+1 counter on it. There's a -3 ability that says create 2/2 green wolf creature tokens. And during the nighttime, you can have the +2 ability to add a red and green mana, or a 0 ability until end of the turn. Arlinn, the Moon's Fury, becomes a 5/5 werewolf creature with trample, indestructible, and haste. Again, very value added for both Daybound and Nightbound. So I don't see the downside of this one either.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm seeing a common theme with the looking for value in the transforming cards, and it seems like I'm not seeing very much downside either. With it just seems like cards just get stronger during nighttime, and that's it.
Yeah, and they don't suck too bad, during the daytime. So, what are your top 2, Tony?
So yeah, I'll go next then. My first pick was Dire Strain Rampage. So this is a sorcery, 1 red green, and then you can destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search for their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And then it also has a flashback ability, so you can recast it for 3 red green. So I just like it for spot removal, but also in a pinch you can also destroy your own land to ramp into the colors that you need. So I like the flexibility there, and just being able to recast it later is very, makes for a nice and flexible card.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Destroying your own land to ramp. That's new.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I read that ability, the secondary ability, where you're basically searching for lands. So that's why I thought to target your own lands.
So if you destroy your own land, you can bring 2 back,
enemy's
right?
Gaia's Cradle, I guess.
Is that how it works? You destroy your own land and you bring 2 back, or you search for 2?
I think it depends on whose land was destroyed, because the controller will search their library for up to 2 basic land cards to put them into the battlefield tapped.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, if it was anything else that was destroyed, like artifact enchantments, then they would search their library for a basic land card. So if you
this actually works well with landfall deck too, if you really think about it.
Oh, that's true.
Because you can tap the 3 mana, right, and destroy one of them that's already tapped, and bring back 2 more that's already tapped into play. So that's 2 more triggers.
Right. Yeah. So lots of different ways to play the card. So I like the flexibility.
Oh, that's scary, actually.
All right. What's your second one?
All right. Second one is Siphon Insight. So this is a blue and a black instant. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down and put the other on the bottom of the library. You can look and play the exiled card as long as it remains exiled, and you can spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. And also, this one also has flashback. 1 blue and black to recast it, so you can do this twice. So I always like the idea of using your opponent's spells against them. This one's a little bit harder to use because you're only looking at the top 2 cards. I guess I would use it if someone had just used a like some kind of a tutor or something that puts something valuable at the top of their library. That's probably the most ideal situation to use it. Otherwise, you're kind of taking a gamble. So, yeah.
All right, I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised you didn't pick Denick PS Apprentice, because that's it's a legendary human soldier, right? And then if you cast it with its disturb cost, it comes back flipped, and the ability is whenever one or more creature cards are put in the graveyard for anywhere, investigate. Because I thought you were building a clue deck, man.
Yeah, I think it was on my on the runner-up list.
Got it. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else before I go with my top 2?
No, I think that's it.
All right. The first one I pick is Rite of Harmony. It's a green and white to cast instant. Allows you to draw a card whenever you cast an enchantment or creature until the end of turn. So I thought this will definitely help my enchantment deck draw engine in case I don't have my draw engine out, like the creature or the enchantress or something like that. And I can also cast it again with its flashback cost, which is 2 and a green and a white. So allows me to always get that enchantment draw or creature draw advantage. My second one is a Lisa, Forgotten Archangel, a 2 white, black to cast 4/5 Angel with Flying and Lifelink. Whenever a non-token creature dies, return it back to the owner's hand. When a creature an opponent control dies, exile it. So I just think it's good for me, bad for you. So overall means good for me. Those are the 2 I picked.
Who's mean now?
Hey, it's not a board wipe, my friend. You can kill it.
So you're saying it's even worse than a board wipe because it's one-sided.
Oh, you're right. So you're telling me that I should pair with a board wipe, either with a Meathook Massacre or to Vanquish the Horde. Perfect. All right. Anything else for multicolor?
Too.
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
Takes away the graveyard recursion too.
That is true. So you don't need to worry about anything going to graveyard, right?
Exactly.
For your opponents, at least. Yeah. All right. So I think that concludes our top 2 today. Anything else the 2 of you want to add?
No, just let us know, in the comments if there's, any cards that we didn't choose that is worth mentioning. We'll definitely take a look.
I just want to say there's a new bear, but I'm not happy about it. It's stuffed bear as an artifact. You pay 2, it becomes a 4/4 green bear artifact creature. Not good, man.
Just because you say that, I think one of us need to build a deck around that. And then we'll fight it against the real bear deck, right? Well, since we're talking about deck building, just want to let everyone know that we will be putting together the latest episode of our Commander Pageant series using the newer commanders from this Innistrad the Midnight Hunt set. So please look out for that, and hopefully we can release that soon. And let us know what you think, or if there's any commanders out there that you would like to build a deck around, and let us know how you will build that deck. All right. Thanks for listening.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good week. Just want to go over inventory really quickly. For Time Spiral Remaster, we have 4 slots left. For Commander Legends, the draft box, we have 7 slots left. For Midnight Hunt, draft box, we have 4 slots left. Set box, we have 4 slots left. And collector box, we have 3 slots left. And that's being released this Friday, so hope you guys close out these boxes. Then we can break them next week. Now, as I've stated last time, we are doing the giveaway a little bit differently going forward. Last time we asked you a question was, which card do you think it's undervalued for Midnight Hunt? And we got some fantastic answers. So instead of Wheel of Names, I'm going to use Comet Picker to pick out the winner because I can see their responses as well. So good luck, everybody. Again, if the answer is not eligible, I'm going to pick again for another winner. So 13. All right, good luck. All right, the answer is picking out Merple. Picking those full art lands seems like a cheat, so I'll say Otherworldly Gaze. Rearrange the top of your library at instant speed or send things to the graveyard. And has flashback, all for 1 blue. Useful for any spell slinger. Oh, that's great. And thanks for your kind comments about how we did 100 videos. Appreciate that. And for the next giveaway, the question this time is, what are your top 2 picks, top 2 cards in Innistrad Midnight Hunt that you're going to be hunting for? So just leave that in the comment. The reason is optional, so you can leave that or not. It's up to you. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.